Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for spending or making your time for this particular webinar that we are going to have today. And welcome to the first Sub Mumbai webinar of this year, 2021. And I'm hoping that everybody is safe and things are good at their end. So today we will be going through introduction to e-commerce for Sitecore, right? Before that, I mean, for people who know me, I mean, it's great, but for people who don't know me, I mean, quick introduction. My name is Sumit Fadke, and I am currently working as Senior Technical Lead at Adaptee. I have more than like more than 10 now. So more than 10 years of experience in Sitecore, way back from Sitecore 5 till Sitecore 9.3, Sitecore 10 these days. So it's good to work on Sitecore platform and like exploring it. And as we all know, the benefits of Sitecore platform being flexible and integratable and things of that nature. So it's really nice to stay with the platform and to work on these for like the past 10 years. And I have seen Sitecore grow over these years with a lot of community related activities and the digital experience that they are providing. So it's great to be a part of the team. So moving on from there, I mean, as you are seeing today, we will be going through introduction for e-commerce for Sitecore. Yeah. So the agenda for today is going to be introduction and setup, where we will be going through what e-commerce is and how we can set it up. Then we will go over e-commerce interface walkthrough, which is nothing but I'll just show you what all things come out of the box with e-commerce and how you can navigate through the different interfaces of e-commerce and how it is integrated. And then the next thing is going to be accelerator for Sitecore. So e-commerce by default, I mean, they give, they have a demo storefront, which you need to install, and we will go through that. I'll give a quick walkthrough. Also, it is a good. You will see like a live experience of like placing an order and going through the entire checkout flow. And then at the end, we will have question answers or anything that you need to more from me. I mean, we can discuss that if time permits. Okay. So let me continue in here. So first, as we are going to go through introduction and setup. So first is introduction, then the benefits and the setup, and it's more or less going to be I'm going to walk you through what e-commerce is and what e-commerce for Sitecore is going to be. Okay. So as we all know, right, in any commerce system that we have multiple things, right? Like there is a product catalog, which is going to have a bunch of product categories. And each product category is going to have a set of products and their variants, which are going to have multiple attributes in there and things of that nature. So e-commerce is another product or another set of products that they provide, which is basically a plugin for Sitecore. Along with that, they have other things like they also have plugin for Sitefinity or Umbraco. But today we are going to look mainly at e-commerce for Sitecore, which is their plugin for Sitecore. Okay, and and few of the benefits that e-commerce provides are they are pretty easy to set up. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I'm going to walk you through, but it is just like one Sitecore package that you need to install, and it will take care of setting up the e-commerce backend information for you. So it's the setup is as simple as setting up like one new Sitecore package. Also, the other benefits include that the cost efficient. I mean, if you go through their website, I mean, they have the pricing information in here, which is pretty. I mean, I looked at it and it's around like $10,000 to $12,000 for a production license, and they have like different country specific costs as well. So it's pretty. I mean, it's like cost efficient. Also, other thing that it's pretty flexible and easy to set up, and you can integrate it pretty easily. Okay, so these are some of the advantages, and this is what e-commerce is all about. Also, if you go through their site, I mean, they have pretty good resources in here. I mean, you can download and there are. I mean, if you click in here, they have like demo site which you can browse. I mean, at your convenience. They have blogs, they have API documentation, and also they have like training videos where you can go through and see what e-commerce has to provide. in this particular area. And as I said, today we will be focusing mainly on WooCommerce for Sitecore, and like including the setup and like a quick demo and like accelerator demo as well. So any questions till this point, or are you all on the same page about what we are going to talk about today?
No questions, Sumit.
Okay, cool. So next thing, I mean, as I said, so now we will be seeing. So this is my blog that I have already written early December, and I'm not going to walk you through entirely, but just like what, and I'm not going to do like a setup right now because it takes about half an hour to do the setup. So I already have the setup, and we will walk through that. But I just want to show you what you need to do in order to do the setup, right? So if you look at it, right, I mean, you can go to this particular URL, wherein if I click on this right now, you will have to, so they have these 3 packages, right? And so this is WooCommerce for Sitecore is the package that you need to install for installing WooCommerce. Accelerator for Sitecore is the package that you need to install for installing their demo storefront, right? So just for your reference, I mean, I've already copied it down in here. So these are the 2 packages, like Sitecore 9.3 is this is the vanilla install. Sitecore, WooCommerce for Sitecore, this is the package that will be downloaded, and WooCommerce demo Sitecore storefront is the package that is going to be downloaded. If you go in and download that that particular, I mean, if you click in here, okay. So once you download those packages, right? I mean. So by default, when you install the package, WooCommerce will be installed on the Sitecore web database by default. And one thing that we need to remember over here is when you are trying to install WooCommerce, make sure that your web database has full admin access, because, and you need it only for the time of installation, because if the database is not having admin access, then the WooCommerce for Sitecore package will fail in installation. But if you want to go through this blog, I mean, it has all the details. I prefer, rather than like installing WooCommerce on Sitecore for directly on the web database of Sitecore, I prefer it to be installed as a separate database, because it helps in during the time of upgrades and all those things. Keep the 2 systems separate from the data point of view is always recommended. That's why, I mean, I would recommend instead of installing WooCommerce directly on the Sitecore web database, I would prefer doing it on like a separate database altogether. So you have all these steps to follow, and once you install this package, which is WooCommerce for Sitecore that I showed you, right? It's just a simple package installation, and when you click install, you should be good, and that's it, right? So once you install, you should have your WooCommerce for Sitecore all up and running. So I have these, I have this, so I'll show you in here. So this is now going to be the WooCommerce, right? So when you install the WooCommerce, right? I go to the login again, right? So once you install WooCommerce, I mean, along with the vanilla Sitecore things that you see, like marketing application, content editing, and control panel, you will see additional what you say like icons or applications for that are specific to WooCommerce, right? So you can either click on these and go, or there is you can also go to dashboard, desktop, and from here you can click on WooCommerce. This will open up the WooCommerce interface. Let's open quickly. Yeah. So this is what you see when you install, right? I mean, this is nothing but I have just simply installed a package that I told you earlier. So once you install the package, you will see this as the Sitecore. Once you install the package, you will see all these things in here, right? And what happens in the back, right? I mean, we'll go through each one of them individually, but I would like to show you what actually is going to happen. So from the code point of view, right? Let me just open up. Yeah. So when you install WooCommerce, what that package installation does is, if you go to app config include, right, you will see these bunch of WooCommerce files that have been installed. I'm just walking you through about like what Sitecore installs what WooCommerce installs on Sitecore when it actually does that package installation, right? So this is I mean, these are the app config files that will get installed. Then in the bin folder, if you look, there is this e-commerce folder that gets added, and these all files are specific to e-commerce that are needed. And then at the bottom, there are like, I think 10, 15 e-commerce specific DLLs that get introduced in the application, right? So from here till here, all these DLLs are added because of that package install. Okay. And then the most important thing is inside Sitecore modules, shell, e-commerce, right? So this entire e-commerce folder will be installed, and this is like the core of the e-commerce module running, right? Because all the configurations, all the application specific things are present in here. So this is like this is like the module similar to our Sitecore folder when we install Sitecore. This is the Sitecore module for e-commerce, which has all the information in here. Okay, and from the database point of view, if you go in here, right? So if you look at this was the database that I had set up for e-commerce. And if you look, these are all the tables that get added, and e-commerce is using these tables for data processing and storing the data, right? So this is what comes out of the box, and that when I say e-commerce is pretty flexible, right? You can also add like custom tables in here. Like for example, there is in your shop or in your application, right? You want to add like some custom properties, or you want to give like some custom properties to your orders or to products. You can or if you want to have some other customization, you can very well add like custom tables in here, and you can you can do like a insert and update operations on that tables. Okay. So any questions till now, or are we all good? Should I continue with the with like the quick demo for this e-commerce setup? Okay, I think, and I mean in between as well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to just jump in. I mean it's fine. I mean, we just want to make it interactive if possible. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in, and we can go through that. Okay. Yeah. So as I said earlier, right? I mean, any commerce platform, you have catalogs, you have bunch of products, you have orders. Also there are some marketing concepts in here, like you want to have a voucher applied to your order, or like say for example, in any festive season, you want to give like 15% off on all your products, or like certain products during that particular season, right? So all these things can be set up in here. And then there are like settings which we have in here. So firstly, I will walk you through the stores, right? So, and again, you will get this by default when e-commerce is installing. So you don't have to worry about this. So it is taking time to. So this is the catalog, right? So if you go in here, this is the catalog that e-commerce gives you by default. And again, this is something that they have just given for the reference, right? So if we want to create a new catalog, for example, you can just right click in here and create a new catalog. I mean, I'm trying to right click. Okay. It's maybe slow or something, but yeah. So if you go in here, right? I mean, I can add a new catalog. So this is also the interface. You see a small plus sign in here. So you can either right click in here, or you can click plus, and you can add a new catalog for your products, right? And then these are the bunch of categories. Okay. So if you click on here, you can add, and these are the definitions. We'll go through what this is, but I just wanted to give you like a feel of what like e-commerce interface looks like. So in here you can add like multiple categories. So by default, I mean, they have given these two categories, software and products. So if I click on software, for example, it will give me what all if I go to, so this is what related to catalogs and categories, right? So if I go to products in here, it's similar view. I mean, in here, from here as well, you can add a catalog, you can add a category, but this is product specific view, right? So if you look in here, this is the category and for this category, you see that these are the products that are in there, right? So you can add a new product. I'll click on new. So you can see what definition you want the product to be added. When we say definition, I mean, you can consider in Sitecore terms this as like Sitecore template, right? So for example, if your storefront has like two different categories, right? So software and support in this case. So these are nothing but like Sitecore templates. I'm just trying to give you the analogy. So this is comparable to Sitecore template, wherein you select what type of template you want, and based on that, it will have a bunch of attributes that you can select for a product, right? So for example, if I select software, for example, and I give like Office, right? Just as an example, and I give like OFC as the SKU, new product, right? So if you see in here, I mean, these are like bunch of things that you are going to see in here. So this is display on website. I mean, if you want to show your product on the website or not, you can just toggle it like in this way. Also, as I said, right? I mean, these are the properties, or these are the fields. So as you move along, if you see, they are automatically like going to the next sections. So this is where you can choose what pricing model you want, or what is the price of that particular product, and then the images and media associated with that. Okay, so this is how you can add a new product to your catalog for a category. You can also add new variant to the product, which is like, say for example, you have like shoes as a product, right? So one of the variants could be like the size of the shoes or the color of the shoes, and there's going to be a product specific to that particular variant. You can add that as well in here. We will get to know more detailed example of it when we are actually going through the demo storefront that they have. But this is how you have these products in here. Okay, so I mean, since we are talking about the products, I am going to jump on the settings for now. So I was talking about the product definitions earlier, right? So in here, if you look, these are the product definitions that they have. Like for example, in here they have these products, and if you see, they have these two product definitions, right? And in here, as I told you, we can have like the attributes that are specific to the product. So it is nothing but, I mean, if you want to add like another attribute in here, like an expiry date or something, I mean, you just have to right click, create product definition, and it will show you the pop-up on the right hand side screen. You can specify like what kind of attribute you want to add. So there are a bunch of by default attributes that come, and like these are the specific things that you can add it. I mean, it is pretty similar to how we do in Sitecore. These are our Sitecore fields, and this is the Sitecore template. So for software template, we have downloadable and license as the attributes, and for support template, we have coupons as the attribute. I mean, these e-commerce also have, I mean, we can also have inheritance if needed. Like for example, if you want to have your properties inherited from some different properties, we can do it that way as well. So yeah, this is a little slow, maybe because I'm loading it for the first time, I guess, after login. But it is as simple as right clicking, and you can create the product definitions, and you should be able to see those products. And if you look at data types, as I said, these are like out of the box data types that e-commerce provide, like a short text, long text, number, Boolean, images, and other things. Any questions?
Right, Sumit, just one quick one. I know it's more of e-commerce question, but typically the way I see this happening is that we will probably create the definitions of these products, and then the actual load will happen systemically, right? It's not possible to type in 3,000 products or SKUs that client has. So what would you recommend? You create a definitions upfront and then write a program to ingest that data?
Okay. Yes. So I mean the entire flow from like an business application point of view is, yes, you create all your products definitions, right? Like, I mean, you will be knowing, like, say for example, you have like shoes as one of your product category, right? You know what all different attributes it has and things of that nature, and then, as you rightly said, we'll need to, and as I said earlier, e-commerce is pretty flexible. That is on on the back end, right, they are using entity framework or like similar entity frameworks, and they are exposing their entity frameworks APIs, wherein you can use their APIs and like import the data into your application. So yes, I mean, first part is going to come up with your definitions. Make sure what the products that you are going to load, that is, you are going to import from some other system, how are they going to come in? It could be a CSV, or it could be like a JSON, or it could be like another database itself. So and then you will be using the WooCommerce specific APIs for I mean, due to time constraints, I may not be able to show you that in this particular seminar, but I mean, there are going to be upcoming seminars which are going to be more of developer centric, where we will be maybe doing something customized attributes, or how you can import, or like a sample code or something of that sort. But to answer your question, yes, I mean we'll have to write something which will import the products, and they can be, and then we can make it automated as well, right? I mean, generally in like business situations, I mean, all the products may not be present in here. They may be present in some different system, like Microsoft systems, or Microsoft or like some other systems. So we can also use our I mean site code jobs to import these products in here as a daily job, or like a weekly job, or something like that. So
sure, thanks Sumit, that clarifies.
yeah. So okay, so now if you see, right, I mean, we have this thing in here where you can, this is basically like the new definition, and I'm just going to add in here, since it's now loaded, expiry date. I'm going to change it to data type as just to show. Okay, yeah, so this particular product now, software has this new attribute. So now if I go to the product itself, okay, software, if I click on any of the product, you will see this expiry date popped in, right? So you can specify this and then use it as and when you need on your application. Okay, so these are a few of the settings in here. So I mean, I'll walk you through quickly. So I mean, we went through catalogs, we went through products, right? How to create a new product. Then these are the different states of the order, right? This is coming again out of the box. You have a new order, you have a completed order, you have invoiced, paid order, and things like that, right? And then in the marketing application, as I said, these are like bunch of discounts that have been created out of the box, and like it is mostly. Hopefully this will load again, because first load generally takes a couple of minutes. But never mind. I mean, I'm going to show you in when I install the accelerator as well. So just for now, keep in mind that this particular the way they have their discounts and vouchers is inside marketing. They have default campaign, or you can create a new campaign if you want in just by right clicking in here. And once you create a new campaign, you can create a new campaign item, wherein you can specify your criteria for the discount and promotions, and then you can also specify what kind of discounts you want or you have in there. Okay, so this is the area where you can, and again you can, I mean, since WooCommerce is flexible enough, you can write a logic and use their backend APIs for customizations, like you can custom import the vouchers from some different system to WooCommerce or something of that sort. So it's pretty flexible. You can go in and write, I mean, either create these vouchers manually, or you can also write functions to import this code manually. Okay, and then this settings is nothing but our, I mean, inside site code, it could be something like a template section, I mean, where you have a bunch of settings specific to catalog, like you have these price groups, wherein you specify like what is the like a VAT associated with a particular product group, and like currently we are having Euro 15%. Again, I mean, this is on your product, it will or on your order, basically it will have like a 15% of VAT, and you can create new price group and associate with the catalog and things of that nature, right? In terms of orders, I mean, this is again each order will have like shipping methods. So download is the one that comes out of the box, and if I click download, I take, but just right click, create shipping method. You should be able to create multiple shipping methods. There are like bunch that they give out of the box as well. For the payment methods, I mean, currently out of the box, they just give you like to account and invoice, right? But if you create a new payment method, there are like bunch of third-party payment provider integrations as well that they have done. Like, I mean, they have integrations with SagePay or with WorldPay or with, I mean, multiple different payment integrations that they have. So you just have to select what payment type you want and then add like certain configurations associated with it, like the authentication, username, passwords, authentication endpoints, and things of that nature. And that's when like, and that's it. I mean, and once you have that, you don't need to worry about the communication between your application and that third-party integration, other than unless you want to do any kind of customizations or something of that sort. But yeah, I mean, it would be good if I can load this. It's still waiting. But if not, I mean, I'll show you in the accelerator. Yeah, so then they have like these bunch of countries in here, which is currencies in here. Okay, I mean, while it is loading, I mean, do you have any questions? Because I would like to, because we are already 30 minutes in, and I would like to show you the accelerator as well as Avenue Clothing, where you will be seeing this interface again. So this is like a quick overview of what WooCommerce interface looks like, and it might take a minute or so to load because sometimes it's slow on my local as well as the first loads. I mean, WooCommerce loading takes a little bit of time. So any questions or anything that you want to discuss before we actually move on to the accelerator part of it?
Yeah, Sumit. Actually, in the beginning of the session, you said it's a best practice to install the module on separate database, not on the web database.
Yes.
So when you install the UC module, that time only storefront got installed, or you separately installed on the master database again?
Which one? When you are talking about storefront?
This I'm talking about this interface. Yeah.
Yes, this interface will be getting installed automatically when you install the package.
On the master database.
Not on the master database. All these things is getting pulled from the WooCommerce database.
Okay, because I can see the master database is selected here.
Yeah. So this is just for your Sitecore interface, right? So whatever data you are seeing in here, right? So there needs to be some kind of, since we are using WooCommerce for Sitecore, right? There needs to be some interface by which you log in, right? So we are just using Sitecore, and since this is integration, so even if you go to the web database, you will still see the same, because this is not really, whatever you are seeing in here is not getting pulled. None of the data you are seeing in here is getting pulled from either of the Sitecore databases. It is getting pulled from the WooCommerce database that you installed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this, none of this is getting stored in Sitecore. I mean, if you go to the Sitecore content tree, you will see, let me see if I can open it. If not, I'm not going to waste time on this, but I'll go over to the next section. A little slow. So okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll show you in the next screen. So this is what we have right now. In the introduction and setup, we had a quick walkthrough about WooCommerce interface. Now the next thing is going to be accelerator for Sitecore. Again, we will have like a quick introduction, site walkthrough, checkout workflow walkthrough, and the code walkthrough. Let's see how much we can complete, but this is what we have in the agenda for now. So yeah, I mean, when I say accelerator, right, as I told you guys earlier, you have this WooCommerce demo storefront for Sitecore 7.03, right? This is again a package, and when you install that package on the top of your Sitecore application, right, you will see you just need to install it once, and once you install it, you will see. So this is like a separate instance that I have created just so everybody, just so we save our time. But the package that we are planning to install, I mean, it's again as simple as going to Sitecore, development tools, installation wizard, and installing the package. Okay. So this is once you install the package, as we saw, just the blank install of UCommerce was backend specific, right? There was nothing related to front end as such. But once you install that package, that is related to the demo storefront, right? If you go to the front end of the site, you will see this particular demo storefront that they have created. So it is as simple as installation of Sitecore package, and you will see like a front end site which you can use for your reference. And this is like a good starting point. And also just to add, before moving forward, just to add in there, the code for this, right? They have a GitHub repo in here. So GitHub repo is having the code in here for UCommerce Sitecore. You can just install it, and you will know basically what happens when the package installs, right? So along with installation of package, I would rather recommend you to get this data as well. And just for your reference, this site that they have is just for the reference purpose. You can walk through, you can go through the entire flow, but this site is something that they basically they are demoing you how you can create a product detail page, how you can create like a checkout process, how you can create a category navigation page or things of that nature, right? So you have this code ready with you for as a reference. So I would recommend, like, if you have some time, go through this, and maybe in the upcoming webinars I'll also walk you through these documents as and when needed. Okay. So this is what you get when you install the package. Let me just quickly. So if you look in here, once you now install the package, now since this package got installed on the top of the earlier install that we saw, right? Now you see, this is what avenueclothing.com is. They already have like bunch of categories in here. If I go to top, formal, for example, you will see these bunch of products that they have created, right? And this all happens once you import, and once you run that package, all these things will be created by default, right? So if you go, if I click on the first product, if you see, this is all the content that you are seeing on the page and things of that nature, right? Also in the settings in here, so this is another important thing. Just before I go through the demo, so by default, UCommerce has Lucene search implemented. So if you go through your code base as well, data. So this is the UCommerce folder, and these are the indexes. So by default, when you run the index rebuild, whenever you want to run the index rebuild from scratch, this is the page, this is the location that you want to go to, and that will have that has just the button in here which says index rebuild all kind of, and once you click that, it basically uses the Lucene index on the backend, and the indexes are getting stored in here in this inside your site's app data UCommerce folder. Okay. So yeah, so let me also walk you through the content too, right? So so Sonali, since you had asked the question about master and what it looks inside Sitecore. So if you look in here, this is what UCommerce. So actually, UCommerce is you have whatever processing you need to do. You should be using this interface, but this UCommerce inside Sitecore content tree as well, you will see this UCommerce got plugged in. And if you go to the templates, user definitions, right? So these are all the templates that gets installed when you are installing the UCommerce package. Okay, and since and if you look, but just for your reference, whatever you are seeing here is just the illusion that the products are present inside Sitecore, right? They are not present inside Sitecore. None of the products, if you go to your master database and search for any of the product IDs that you're seeing, they won't be present inside your Sitecore database. So UCommerce has some internal logic wherein it tries to give you the illusion that you can see those products as well in the content tree. Okay, and then you can, but none of the processing that you want to do. When I say processing, like updating of products or creating some new attributes or adding some details to the attributes, you shouldn't be using Sitecore interface for that. You should go and use the UCommerce interface for that. Okay, and that is not something that and yes, I mean sometimes it's confusing that okay, I'm seeing this UCommerce stores or like the products as well inside the bucket, right, in here, but actually speaking, none of it is present inside Sitecore. I mean, UCommerce is doing some internal magic to show these things in here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions before I move on to the front end of the application? Okay. So if you look in here, right? So now after we installed the demo storefront package, you will see that these are the things that gets automatically installed, and these are installed inside your master database. This is nothing to do with Sitecore. Sorry, this has nothing to do with UCommerce. This is something because like UCommerce, as we said, is just the back end of it, right? But you need the front end rendering, you need the front end pages, you need the controllers, the different components and things of that nature. So this is where you are going to create your Sitecore pages, right? And then on each page, you will be using the data that is coming not from here, but from UCommerce specific controls that you want, right? So just to give you an example in here, if you look in here, right, I mean, this is what you are seeing on the front end, and this is nothing but the presentation. So inside presentation, you will be having your header component, you will be having your left navigation component, you will be having your, if you go to any category page, you will be having your category listing component in here, right? This is again like a left navigation component. If you go to the PDP, you will have your product details component, right? So one thing to note over here is, I mean, this, whatever you are seeing in here are nothing but normal Sitecore components that we are using, but the data that you are seeing in here are getting they are pulling the data from UCommerce, right? And how everything is getting mixed up, you can look at this, and this is the project which you can use to make sure how things are getting displayed, right? I mean, I'm just going to give you an example in here. If you go to the catalog project, they have this category controller, right? Similarly, I mean, if you want to implement your own application, you'll have to write in the category controller. But if you look in here, I mean, generally we use either Sitecore APIs or like some like tools to get the data from Sitecore, right? Instead of that, instead of using those, we will be using like the UCommerce specific APIs, right? As you can see here, catalog library.get categories will give you list of all the categories that are present in UCommerce, and then you will be do the processing and display it on the front end. Okay, so again, just to reiterate, the renderings, the controllers, the views of it will be coming from your normal Sitecore application. So for example, if I go to Avenue Clothing in here, if I go to presentation and details, you will see all these things in here, right? So, and if you look at these things, I mean, these are nothing but the controllers that they have, and the code for it, as I said, you have like a GitHub repo where you can look at it. And for example, category navigation, this is the controller that they're using. If you look in here, they are using catalog library. So if I go in here, these are the APIs, some of the APIs that they have. They also have UCommerce.search. So instead of using their internal APIs, you can use their search APIs for like searching of the products and things of that nature, which is pretty much fast and like performance friendly. Okay, so this is how the data is looking like on the front end and back end, right? So any questions till this point, or am I going too fast? I mean, I'm sorry, because there are a lot of things that I need to show, so sometimes I might be a little fast, but if you have anything, just let me know. Any questions, or should I go ahead with like the checkout flow in here? Okay, cool. Okay, I'll give you, I mean, since now we are going to the Avenue Clothing website, right? So this is the homepage on the website. I mean, they have these bunch of products, I mean, hero hider and things of that nature, right? So if I go to say formal categories, for example, so if you look in here, I mean, I wanted to highlight one more thing in here is the URLs, right? So specifically for category listing pages and for PDP pages, right? If you look in here, they have this kind of different URLs, right? So P tops, blah, blah, blah. And if you go to any category page, you have this particular URL, which is C tops format, right? So now, I mean, the way this is being implemented is there is a custom item resolver and link resolver as well. That you don't have to do anything for this. UCommerce has already taken care of resolving the content and things of that nature. But something to keep in mind that these are the category pages and the product detail pages are like dynamically generated URLs. So if you go to Sitecore, you won't see any demo catalog in here, right? Ideally, as per Sitecore's, I mean, normal process, each page is a URL, right? And in the content tree. But if you look in here, they have the demo catalog C tops formal. So there is like a link resolver and item resolver. They have already patched in the Sitecore pipeline. UCommerce has already patched in the Sitecore pipeline, which will generate these dynamic URLs, and it will show the categories specific to this. So if I go to formal, if I go to casuals, the URL will be different, but it will show you the casual content, casual t-shirts. Or if you go to accessories, for that matter, it will show you that the ties, different types, and the scarves that they have, right? So just to keep in mind, I mean, the category and the PDP pages URLs are dynamically generated. So you might need to, if you are going to implement it, you might need to look into the Sitecore APIs and the UCommerce APIs that they have implemented, and or like just make the changes to their APIs. I mean, let me see if I can just quickly show you app config. HTTP begin request. Yeah, so if you look in here, right, I mean, they have this rewrite rules in place, and they have this item. Is it visible or is it too small? I think it's small. Let me just try to.
We can see it, Sumit.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you, I mean, so basically, this is the pipeline where they are patching in their item resolver, and if you look in here, they are doing the rewrite rules like this, wherein like if you have a catalog, then they are doing the C, the categories, and the categories similarly for product, right? So this is where, I mean, the configuration, and if you look at this particular DLL, this particular class in this particular DLL, if you want to reflect the code and check what it is doing, I mean, feel free to do that, because the code should be available in the Avenue Clothing website, or even the code that you have downloaded. I mean, the package that you have installed will have that information in there. So yeah, so this is like one customization that is there out of the box, wherein they are plugging in their own pipeline for item resolver. Okay. So now let me, I mean, since we have only like 11 minutes, I'll just have a quick walkthrough in here and show you by purchasing in a quick order. Yeah, so if I go to formal, for example, I will select this particular shirt. Okay. Yeah, so I go to this. I mean, these are all the variants of it. I would like to have like one quantity. I would like to have like small, color is blue, add to basket. Right, this is, and again, whatever you are seeing in here is just a one install of the package. I mean, there can be customizations that you need to do, or you can use it as is. But again, this as per UCommerce. I mean, this is like the reference site that they have, or the demo site. So if you go in here, this is all is calculated. This is your subtotal. This is the VAT that is included. You don't have any discounts, and this is your order total. And like if I click on continue in here, Okay, I'm just typing in some random things into the. Right, so these are the shipping methods that are present in here. So what from where they are getting pulled is if you go to e-commerce, I mean earlier I showed you, right, these are the shipping methods. So this is what are the shipping methods that are there for this Avenue Clothing demo storefront, and these are the out of the box two what you say, like the payment methods. Okay, now since this screen is loaded, I will first walk through the entire flow and then come back to this. So I will just say my shipping method is 0. Okay, I mean I just want to download it. I just want an invoice for that as a payment method. Continue to preview. Right, so this is what my billing shipping address, and when I click on complete order, right, it is showing thank you for your order. Okay, so now if I go back in here and if I go to my orders dashboard first, if I go to this new orders, right, you should see that this new order got created today at 12:51 p.m. right, and this is what it is, which we, so you can look at the details about what was purchased. If you want, in here there are these small icons where you can go in and manually change the status, like okay, I mean the order is completed, or you can write a logic as well, or you can run some job which will like change your order status to completed, or whatever the different things are. So here the different tabs that you will see for any particular order is overview, then if there were any discounts applied, what was the shipping for that, what were the payment options for that, and then the audit tab, which is nothing but what the basically the logs as to the new order came in at 12:51, new order got completed at 12:56 p.m. Okay. So this is like entire flow, or like a basic very very happy flow of like start to end kind of order processing in here. Now going back to the different payment methods, right? So if you look in here, I mean earlier, since I was not able to load any data in the yeah, so these are out of the box payment integrations that they support. Like if you look in here, they have WorldPay. Is there any question that anybody has? Okay, thanks. So if you look in here, right, these are all the out of the box payment gateways. So I'll just maybe create a, hopefully it will be quick, create a new payment method, and I will use SagePay, just an example. And you generally put it in like the checkout pipeline, which is there. And if I click enable, I save this. SagePay. Okay, so this is what it is. So as I said, right, for each of the different payment integrations, they will have their own way of handling things, right? Like in particularly in the SagePay, you have the success URL, you have the abort URL, you have the failure URL, and then what are your SagePay account details? You need to add it in here, and the transaction type. So for example, if there is some other payment payment gateway that you are trying to integrate, they may not be using this. They may be having authentication username, authentication password, and the API endpoint, right? So this is all pretty specific to what payment gateway you are using. And out of the box, UCommerce has all these payment integrations already integrated. So as long as you provide the correct, like for example, PayPal subscriptions, as long as you provide the correct information, you are good. You don't need to do anything from the project point of view. Of course, if you want to add some custom payment provider, I mean you'll have to go through the logic and add a new custom payment provider. Okay. So if I go back in here, this is how. Thank you for your order. And again, so this is how like a very happy flow of like the UCommerce products is in there. Before quickly, I mean also I can show you. I mean, if I search for black, right, I mean, they're using. So this is their search results page. And one important thing to note over here is, as I mentioned earlier, currently UCommerce is using Lucene index. But if you go to their site, I mean I see that in the upcoming release, which is UCommerce 9.4, which they're planning to do, I think, end of this month, that they are going to add, instead of Lucene or along with Lucene, they are going to have Elasticsearch as well, which will help the applications to be much more scalable and not like specific to the code repository. Because with being on Lucene, I mean, you will have to, and as I showed you earlier, the data is present in the actual code base. But if they are planning to bring in some Elastic specific things, like Elasticsearch specific things, then we can have Elastic Cloud or use this for like Sitecore CM/CD environments or Sitecore cloud environments or Azure environments. So it's good that they are decoupling indexes from like the code base. That way it makes the search more flexible and scalable. So just an update that currently they are on Lucene, but looking at their current blog posts and current launch events, I mean, by the end of this month, they're planning to release Elasticsearch module as well. So yeah, so that's it. So this is all about what we have for today. I mean, I know it was a pretty quick session. So we went through the site walkthrough, we went through the checkout flow walkthrough, we went through the code walkthrough. Is there anything specific that you want me to go over? Or I mean, in the upcoming sessions, I'm planning to dive deep in, like maybe doing some customizations and making sure that like we have a full understanding of the code as well. But as I said, I mean, you have all the information, reference information on their website, as well as if you go in here, these are the references that you can use, which are basically nothing but these things that we are going through. They have a pretty good, pretty robust, I mean the Avenue Clothing demo storefront code files that you can use as well. And just like what we did was like we installed the Sitecore package, right? But basically, I mean instead of installing the Sitecore package, you can also have this like deploy to package, or I mean, you can, if you do research or if you go through this particular code base that they have, I mean, basically what package is doing is nothing but running a deploy on this particular solution at their end and creating those products and creating those categories specific to the demo storefront. Okay, so these are some of the references that we have, and like which includes like the documentation, the training videos that they have, also the GitHub repository related to their code base. Okay, so this is like a quick, I mean not quick, very fast overview of like UCommerce for Sitecore installation. And yeah, so this is all that I had for today. Unless there are any questions, I mean, we can have the question answer session if there is anything that you want out of this. We still are, how much time we have? We still have 5 minutes. Any questions that you want me to walk through, or anything that you feel that I went too fast, so we can go back and take a look at it again?
Cool. I think we're good for now. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to Sumit. Right on cue on his contact information up there. So yeah, I think thank you so much, Sumit, for taking this session. Thank you everyone for attending. We're going to have follow-up sessions scheduled soon for more in-depth information, as Sumit mentioned. So hope you'll join us for that as well. We will be sharing the recording of this session. So any questions you have, to reach out to Sumit. Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Thank you all. Thanks and appreciate your time for today. And feel free to contact me on the below details that I have on your screen. Yeah. So and until then, I mean, thanks and bye. I mean, we'll definitely. I'm planning to take a couple of more sessions in the upcoming months. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Sumit.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sumit.
Thanks.